Okay, come in. Wait, don't open them, don't open them. Don't open them.
Well, this is cool already. Whoa!
So I didn't get anything for my little sister for her birthday this year, so my status as a brother is a bit questionable right now, but I still want to do something special for her, even if I'm 2 weeks late. So I decided to go into her room to try and figure out what she might like, and this is what I found. So it looks like she likes BTS. Now, I don't really know much about BTS, but I do have a degree in mechanical engineering. And I've always wanted to see if it was possible to bridge the gap between what I'm passionate about and what she's passionate about. So I'm thinking I'm going to make something BTS related for her late birthday present. I also know that my sister Jackie has not ever been to a BTS concert before. So what if I create some kind of LED vibrant lamp that will bring the concert experience to her? So now I'm thinking I need to use all my brain power, all my wisdom from years of projects to build with my 3D printer and electronics a fully one-of-one customized BTS gift. Now, I know from previous projects, it's really easy to fail if you don't put in enough work up front. So let's start brainstorming some ideas we can turn into sketches. So what I want to do is create pictures of these BTS boys using lithophanes. So they are these 3D printed pieces of plastic that you can illuminate from behind, and it shows the image when you're looking at it face on. So when you have these images, I'm thinking you can have a series of them arranged in a circle so that they are spinning. Imagine this little desktop merry-go-round with images of BTS members on 4 different sides. And I think my sister would absolutely love this. I don't know for sure, but I have a hunch. So I'm just going to go for it, execute the idea, and start pouring all my time into design. So that's where these detailed engineering sketches come into play. I'm going to refer to the rotating body as a carousel, like a merry-go-round, a carousel, just for your future reference. So if you think you're going to get some nice, beautiful drawings, you're wrong. It's not too bad, but on the left here, we have the basic idea for the carousel. So we have a top part that fastens to the bottom, and we have this base part that is the actual carousel. So each panel of images will go into their designated slot. There's 4 sides, and it's driven by a gear. We have a little section view that tell where to place the LEDs. The electronics will fit into this base plate. And then we also have some other ideas that I iterated through, like this light that I thought would mount to the top, but it's not. We can also set up a basic electrical schematic for how things will be soldered before fleshing out the ideas on page 2. So we have a more labeled drawing with a sketch here. So we have the grooves to fit the lithophane. We have a top cover with grooves to locate that carousel to the top mount in the base plate. As you can see here, we have the light now mounted to the base plate. I thought it'd be a light bulb, but instead I opted for a LED light strip that will wrap around these standoffs that connect to the top plate. It's CAD time now. Ah! So we have the logo in there that I modeled in order to create covers for the screws. And most of the modeling is pretty boring, but we'll get into the detailed breakdown of every part of this lamp right now. So this is the carousel, the lamp, with the BTS logo on top, and now with an exploded view. We have all the parts that it's made up of. So we have the top cover plate with the BTS logo. We have the lithophanes as those curved plates. We have the carousel itself with a little gear. And then we have the base housing with the electronics and a few standoffs to mount everything else to. This is the mechanism that turns the carousel. So we have a motor with a gear that turns an internal gear on the carousel itself. Then we have the lithophanes, the images that are placed into the carousel. And then we have the top plate that will then be screwed on top. So they are constrained to this rotating carousel. Then if we look at the top cover plate, we have the logo that covers the screws. And then we have these bearings that lock the cover plate into grooves on the carousel so that it doesn't separate from itself as it's being turned. Then when we look at it from a side view, you can better see how the standoffs from the base plate will attach to that top cover plate, and also how the bearings fit into the grooves of both the top and bottom parts of the carousel. We have standoffs that go all the way up to the top, and then we have a cavity on the bottom that has enough room for all the electronics. And then we also have a port on the back for a power switch and a hole to route the power cable into. I was able to create the lithophanes with this website. It's called lithophanemaker.com. All you have to do is choose the image you want to be converted to a lithophane. You open it and it gives you all the details like the resolution, the thickness, how tall you want it to be, for you to then export it into your 3D printer slicer. Now, when we try to 3D print everything, this is what it's laid out to be. It takes over 50 hours to print. I did all the printing. That's kind of the boring stuff. I didn't really record that. But as we get into the soldering, this is where it gets tricky because it's basically surgery with a 750-degree knife. I soldered the power. What I did was literally take apart this $5 LED light strip from Walmart. I took off the safety stuff and I resoldered the power to the other electronics, the Arduino and the motor controller. Testing the fit here of the gear and that internal gear of the carousel, it seems to work pretty good and I'm very happy about that, but there's still more work to do. I have to cut wires and literally use a scalpel to cut this rerouted power from the LED strip and then solder it together because I had just done the power and now it's time to do the ground. And the risk here is if I don't have the power and the ground wire soldered correctly to the motor controller, which is that red thing, and the Arduino, which is that blue thing with the green, and the motor, and the LEDs, then I can risk frying all the electrical components, giving me a lot more work to do to try and both troubleshoot the problem and find new parts to replace the fried ones. But thankfully, it worked. And we know it works because the lights turn on and the motor controller light turns on, that little red one you see. This is super awesome. The only thing I'm missing now is controlling the motor to turn in order to turn the carousel. This should have been simple, but I had myself and my messy desk to fight. After a brief recovery, I connected the motor to the Arduino and then I connected the Arduino to my computer to then program. This 5-minute task turned into a 2-hour task because I needed to figure out why the Arduino was not connecting to my computer. All I wanted to do was get this gift done for my sister. I tried installing 2 different drivers. I tried restarting my computer 3 different times, but it was a faulty cable that was stopping me. Replacing that, this is what happened. Oh, it's so smooth. But with tens of hours sunken into this project, the perfectionist inside started to take control.
It's too fast.
I tweaked the settings of the motor so that it would turn so slow that you wouldn't see it at first. So you might think that's weird, but let me explain. The goal here is to give my sister an experience where she's discovering the features one at a time, where it's like, oh wow, it's such a cool shape. So that's the first thing she'll realize. Then the second thing she'll realize is that, oh my goodness, I can turn it on. The images actually are lit up. So that's the second feature. And then the third feature is as she goes to turn it around, she realizes that she doesn't even have to turn it around because it's moving so slow that at that point, she realizes it moves by itself.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
So after getting these lithophanes printed, which take about 8 hours each, I'm able to seat them into the carousel with the lights wrapped around the standoffs, as I mentioned earlier, like the little mini Christmas tree. I then screw on the top lid of the carousel, then that top cover plate, putting in the screws, and then putting in the BTS logo to hide the screws. And now at this point, I think we're ready. It's been 50 hours of design, 50 hours of 3D printing, and I just was really figuring it out as I go along, as I do with every project. Every project I do, there are elements that I've never seen before. And when you're sitting in anticipation of the person that's going to receive your gift, you start to put the pressure on yourself and you ask yourself, will this be as special to her as the time I'm putting into something like this? And it's something you just have to see when you give your gift. So let's call my sister in and see if this lamp will light her world up as much as BTS does. Okay, come in. I'm very nervous at this point. Wait, don't open them, don't open them. Don't open them. Hey.
Hey! My eyes are closed. Marco.
Shut up. Okay, you can open them.
Can't see it. Whoa! Oh my gosh! What? That's so cool! Wow! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much.
Wait, you didn't even turn it on.
Oh. Whoa! That's so cool! Wow! That's so wow!
Oh, you put it on the table.
Okay. I want to turn it all the way.
No, don't. You don't have to turn it because.
Oh! What? I just drove down my sleeve. Oh! Wow! That's awesome! Thank you so much, Sam. I really appreciate it.
And you can use this to change the color.
Awesome!
This project was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching.